Welcome to the RV Living Show. Do you have everything that you need for the smallest space in your rig? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to share 10 must have items that you need for your RV bathroom. Hello, friends. Welcome to the RV Living Show. I'm Luann Street of Design Your RV Life, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about the smallest space in your rig. Can you guess what that is? Well, it's your bathroom. I think that you probably have either started or want to start finding certain things that will fit in your bathroom because we know that in most campers, these are the smallest places, right? And the hardest ways to store things. So I've got some creative things for you tonight that as we go through, we're going to talk a lot about how we can use them, which ones that I personally have found that work really well for me. Since I've been through 4 different RVs, I can kind of speak to each kind of size, and we can talk about those things tonight. So I just want to get started with some slides. And so the first one that we're going to talk about is if you haven't organized your bathroom or you're finding it difficult, let's dive in tonight to some things that are going to make it easier. All right. So the first one on my list are towels. And I'm going to make me 2 screens here so you can see. So towels are bulky, right? They take up a lot of room, especially if you have more than 2 people that are traveling in your RV. And then you think about needing multiple towels, that if you're going on a trip and you want everyone to have 2 and you got 4 people in your rig, you've got 8 towels, unless you're going to do laundry. So towels take up a lot of room. The other thing about towels is that they are very difficult to dry. I mean, we know that our RVs are small and the humidity in them can increase quite a bit. And a lot of times, regular size towels or deep plush towels do not dry overnight in your RV. Have you ever gotten up and tried to use your towel the next morning after taking a shower in your RV and you find out that it's still wet because it just hasn't dried well? Even if you bathe in the bathhouse and bring your towel back to the RV, you're going to experience the same thing because towels just do not dry as well inside your rig. So the towels that I found that work really well for inside an RV and take up the minutest amount of space are the ones in the middle of this picture. This happened to be my own personal towel cabinet from my 36-foot Tiffin open road. And I was blessed to have a towel cabinet. A lot of rigs don't have designated bathroom cabinets for certain things, and you have to put your towels in the bedroom, and figure out where you're going to store these things, and then it takes up other precious space. So the 2 towels in the middle are rolled together, and they take up tiny little space, and they dry so quickly, and they're microfiber. The ones in my picture happen to be from Norwex. Norwex is a Swedish company that has some really stellar microfiber. These towels are not cheap. I think I paid 40 something dollars a piece for them. They do come with a really cool hook on them or a little loop so you can hang them and dry them. And they come in a few colors. I actually have a few more now because I just loved having them. And now that I'm in a 25-foot rig, it's even more important to have that precious storage and have something that takes up so much less space. And so these towels travel with me. I also have resorted. They are, of course, they're not beach size towels, but I have resorted to using them for when I go kayaking, when I go to the beach, because I use a chair to sit in. I don't lay on the sand. So you can adapt the way that you want to, because that's the other thing that I found after 5 years of full timing is those beach towels that I was carrying around, we hardly ever use them because, again, same problem. They're hard to dry. You can hang them outside. They end up in the dirt. Hang them on your ladder in the back. Some campgrounds don't like that. So these microfiber towels totally solve that issue. Now, I will tell you that I did look up on Amazon, and I'm going to have a link in the post that goes with this that will show you. They have some nice microfiber towels now. When I bought these 5 years ago, I think, microfiber towels were not really a thing, or at least they weren't good. They were that kind of that make you feel funny when you touch them. I think you know what I mean. But the really good microfiber doesn't feel that way. So I did find some that are relatively inexpensive on Amazon, and I will link that. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, it's going to be in your show notes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you are going to get it in your notes below this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, I will link you to where you can find the links to these towels so you can look at them better. Okay. So the next must-have thing for your RV bathroom is a toothbrush holder. Not many RVs come with a place to put your toothbrush already. Haven't you found that when you bought your rig, you go in and you're all excited, and then you start looking, where am I going to hang a towel? Where am I going to put my toothbrushes? Where am I going to be able to store extra toilet paper or my toilet cleaning supplies? And though sometimes that doesn't happen in the rigs that we have. So this particular picture, it's my own personal toothbrush. And that is a command strip toothbrush holder. So I did put it on the side of the cabinet with command strips, and it has stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed. And I put the toothpaste in there. It was a great solution, and it looks pretty. It's not something that's white and plastic that sometimes command things can have that look. I know they're up in their game a little bit, but this is a command strip toothbrush holder. I know in our very first RV, there was a toothbrush holder, and I've seen those. I think Camco has them, where they're white plastic and they have the little covers over them, and you can just slide your toothbrush in and put the cover over, and they can stick inside of your medicine cabinet if you have one in your RV, or just on the wall. Those are also a solution. I personally wanted something a little more ornate and decorative, and so I chose this one. So I really like it. And again, this is going to be in some links that I'm going to give you. All right. The third must-have thing is a toilet cleaning system, right? So let's think about this for a minute. Usually it's a jug of cleaner, and it's a brush with a pedestal, or a container to hold the brush, right? A brush holder. And you've got all these things that you're working with. Well, this is the Clorox, I forget the exact name of it. Again, it's going to be in the link, but it has the little spongy ends on it. And so really all you have to do is store a bag. Now, the little spongy ends that have cleaner in them already. So right there, you're eliminating that bottle of liquid that you're dragging around in your RV. But so the little spongy things have the cleaner in it, and you just attach it to the bottom of that handle, and you clean the toilet. You dispose of the little spongy cleaner sponge thing, and you put that in the trash. You wipe off this handle with a antimicrobial cloth, antibacterial cloth, I should say. And you could store that handle anywhere. Like, it could slide down somewhere. You're going to find a place to be able to put that handle. In my particular bathroom here, this setup, and you can buy this setup, and all your little spongy things are in the holder, and you can just reach down in there and grab it and clean your toilet, throw it away, and put the handle back. In my RV now, I can't have this. So I have the little cleaners in a Ziploc bag, and I can shove that underneath the sink. And then the handle is also strategically, it can just be put in there. Doesn't take up much room at all. And I really like the fact that I don't have a bottle of liquid that I have to worry about forgetting that I, close the lid on, or being spilled, or taking up room and weight, right? Because we're all concerned about weight in our RVs. So this is my third must-have item. And this is one that I have used this again and again and again for over 5 years in my RV. All right, number 4, a 10x suction mirror. See these babies? Yeah, I need to see things closer when I'm putting on my makeup, using tweezers, uh, just looking at things closer. And, in my Sticks and Bricks house, I had a mirror on a stand with a light on it, right, for makeup application. This may really only go for you ladies, but for you guys who want to get a close shave and be able to see closer, a mirror is really important. Well, I gave up that mirror on the stand, and I still needed some way in my RV to see myself up close. And this 10x suction mirror on Amazon, once again, I am an affiliate. So the links that you're going to be clicking on, if you happen to click through and buy something at no additional cost, you would be able to bless me with a small commission, but that's not why I do this. I do this because I want to solve your RV problems. So this 10x mirror was a great solution for me. This stayed on the mirror and traveled down the road with us for 5 years. I think it finally did come off the mirror and broke at one point. But what I do is when I clean the big mirror behind it, then I wet the suction cups again and put it back on. And that way I'm constantly making sure that it's stuck to the mirror at least, once every 2 weeks that I'm doing that. And it stays on there, no problem. Highly recommend the 10x suction mirror. All right, number 5, plastic bins. Who doesn't need plastic bins in their RV bathroom? All the little things that you need to organize, your tweezers, your fingernail clippers, your dental floss containers, all the little tiny things that if you happen to put them up in a cabinet and you, after traveling down the road, you open that cabinet and it all comes flying out at you, right? So little tiny bins are my favorite thing. These happen to be ones that they look like the ones at Target, which I really, really like. That they look like baskets, but they're plastic, so they're easy to clean. But plastic bins are definitely something else that if you have a cabinet and you're trying to organize in your bathroom, the small ones are really, really great. Okay. Whoa, here we go. Number 6. We got the whole black tank story going on, right? There are so many schools of thought about taking care of your black tank. I've been told Calgon and Dawn and slushing and rushing and ice, and I've heard them all after RVing for as long as I have. For me and for when I was full time, the number one thing that worked best for our black tank was Happy Camper. Happy Camper is an enzyme eater. It eats up live enzymes. So you are not going to smell what you don't want to smell because it eats it up. You just have to remember to put it in your tank. Once you empty your black tank, you put a little water in there. Make sure because you don't want the pyramid of death, right? And you always want to keep your black tank closed. You never want to keep it open. Just a couple tips here. But you add the Happy Camper to your tank, and as things get deposited in there, it eats up the enzymes eat up the bacteria that is growing, and you have no smell. This I 100% love this. This is what I've used. I don't use all the other methods. It has worked so well for us that we have just kept on using it. They also have, and I did use this too, they have an extreme clean that is actually on back order as of the recording of this video. The extreme clean was recommended from Happy Camper. So if you're buying a used rig and you just want to make sure that you've cleaned out other people's stuff, you can use the extreme clean. So here's how that works. You put the entire container into your black tank. So you empty it, you add some water, and then you get some hot water from the faucet, or well, maybe you shouldn't boil it, but hot water because you want it to dissolve. You take the entire container of the extreme clean and you pour it down the potty and flush and pour the hot water in after it so that it dissolves really well. And then you drive down the road. And it would be great for a travel day if you want to clean it out. But you want that slushing and that motion to clean your black tank. And that is what does such a good job. So I bought a used rig and I used this extreme clean. And when I came to, because, okay, first of all, just want to backtrack. I cleaned my black tank. I I Santa flushed it. It was empty. The pipe ran clear, everything. I did the extreme clean. In my situation, I actually let it sit for a week because since I wasn't full time, I put it in there when I left the campground and I was going to leave again for the next camping trip in a week. And so I just left the extreme clean in there, doing its thing all week after driving for 4 hours in it. And then so the next weekend when I got to the campground, the first thing I did is I emptied because I didn't want to add stuff to it. I wanted to see what the extreme clean would do for me. And you would be shocked as to what came out of that little clear thing that you can see at the bottom of your black tank hose. I was duly impressed, especially since the can cost like $35 and I had to use the whole thing. But I really, really, really liked it. It was well worth doing. And I'm thinking about doing it maybe once a year, maybe as a spring clean kind of thing on my RV, and just keep that tank really, really nice. So happy camper, guys. It'll make you a happy camper. Okay, next one, washcloth hanger. Do you have a built-in washcloth hanger in your RV? Our first none of them, except the one I have now. The one I have now actually is a place to hang a washcloth or a fluffy thing. I don't even know the name of it, but that's what I shower with. And so my last 3 RVs, I didn't have anywhere to hang washcloths. Brian liked to really use a washcloth. That was his preference. And so I found this washcloth hanger on Amazon. They called it a drying rack. And again, I'm going to link this for you because I loved this. It has a suction cup. I moved it from RV to RV. And it was great. It's got 3 little prongs, would hold the poof, it would hold a washcloth, and it totally worked for this situation. I wouldn't hang hangers on it. I don't think it would hold that much, but definitely for your wet paraphernalia that you're in the shower with, it was very handy. So if you don't have one, I highly recommend this washcloth hanger. It works really well. I actually think it was promoted to be something like if you had it, you wanted it for a baby, which is kind of weird. But anyway, that's what it is. It's a washcloth it's suction cup washcloth hanger. Number 7. All right. Okay, the next one's a razor caddy. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you're going to shave something, right? And having that razor so that the head doesn't get goopy is important. You want to keep it dry. You want to keep your blades as sharp as possible. Blades are not cheap. And so you want them to dry out after every time you use it. So this is another command strip product. And you can put this in the shower and it stays really well because it comes with the bathroom command strips. I have used this over and over again. I also moved this from RV to RV and I just bought the replacement bathroom strips. So this is something else that I recommend and must have. Number 8. As you can see, as I'm doing these things, the bathroom is small, but all these things don't take up any room at all, but they help you just make the most of your space, which is what we really want to do. We want our RVs to be an extension of our home. If they're not our home, right? And if you're full-time, they are your home and you want everything as comfortable as possible. Number 9, a lot of RVs don't come with soap dishes. Don't know what they're thinking out there when they manufacture these things, but they don't have them. Command also has a soap dish. This one happens to be a suction cup. This is not a Command. Again, I wanted something a little prettier, a little more decorative, something silver that looked nice and not white plastic. Command does have white plastic ones. And they work great too because they got the little bathroom strips on them. But this one I found and I really liked it, and it let the soap dry so it didn't get all mushy. We kind of put it up higher on the wall so that the water didn't come down on it while we were showering. And yeah, it worked out great. It worked out great. In fact, we had 2. I had one for my bar of soap and one for his bar of soap. So I liked fragrance things and he didn't want to smell like me. So anyway, this soap dish has been really handy. And again, if you don't have one, this is a great one to try. Number 10, This actually is what I call the bonus one because I think in my post, in my list, there's an extra one in there that I didn't, and maybe it was an extra shower caddy, I think, that I put on there. But this one is hands down another one of my favorite things. POURRI. If you haven't experienced POURRI, you're in for a treat. You should watch their YouTube videos. They are quite funny. They make the topic of poo very interesting and enjoyable. So we know that our RVs are small, right? And if there's more than one of us traveling in there, someone's going to do something that stinks it up at one time or another. And that small space, it's hard to get rid of that smell. And I personally do not like the sprays, Febreze, Air Wick, all those things, because to me it ends up like lavender smelling poo, right? It doesn't make it smell better. It just makes it smell flowery, and it's still poo. So POURRI was designed to spray before you go. It works after too, because sometimes you forget. But the whole idea is you put a little you have the water before you deposit and you put 5 squirts in the water before you go. And when you go, you won't smell anything. There's essential oils. It smells really nice. It's not overpowering. It's not fake smelling, and it really works. The bonus to this is that's a tiny bottle. It's easy to put somewhere. It's not a lot of liquid. It's not an aerosol can. POURRI, I highly recommend it. You should give it a shot if you haven't ever used it before. They now have different fragrances. The one in this picture is the original citrus, which is what made them super famous. But I actually found it when I was working my job in the doctor's office, and my office was directly across from the employee bathroom. In and out, in and out, in and out all day. Spray, 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 spray. I couldn't take it anymore. And I happened to find this at Ace Hardware at the checkout, which honestly, if you're looking around and you're somewhere, a lot of times they're at the checkouts, and you should give it a try. You should look at and buy the POURRI and just give it a try and see if you like it. But that whole small space thing, this is a really great thing to have. All right. Well, I think that came to the end of that. So let me first, I want to tell you about what's happening next week. Well, actually, let's talk about what's happening right after this. So I'm actually going into my group, Stop Wondering and Start RVing. And if you're not a member, you should join, because tonight we're going to be talking about our favorite kitchen gadget. We're getting together in this Facebook group and going live into Zoom and talking to each other about all the favorite kitchen gadgets that we have and that we want to share with each other. So if you aren't a member of this group already, please join us. I'll go right after this episode, let you in. And we do this once a month. We call them virtual campfire chats, where there's no fire involved, but we feel like we're sitting around a campfire talking to each other. So I would love it if you would join us tonight. And again, this is the link, facebook.com/groups/stop wandering and start RVing. This is my free group where it's a community where I help support you and others help support you in your RV journey. All right. Next week on the RV Living Show, it's going to be same time, same place. I hope you'll join me. And right now I'm going to jump into the comments, and I would love to hear what your favorite bathroom items are, what you have found to be really great. All right. So Dina says, hello, good evening. And Barbara says, hello. And hi, Luann and everyone. Joanne says, everyone. She's greeting all of you, which I know you can see in the comments. And Danny says she just bought our 40-foot Tiffin and we're mid-remodel. Bathroom area is next. Awesome. 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 And someone said, no plush towels for us. Yeah. You learn really quickly if you've done this that plush towels are hard. They're just hard. They're nice, right? Everybody wants to be cozy in a towel, but that's kind of one of the things that you trade out when you're doing that. All right. Cindy says hello from Florida. Joanne says Norwex products are awesome. They are awesome. I have their window cloth is you never have to buy a bottle of Windex again. Their window cloth is amazing. Brian and I had a huge altercation over the bottle of Windex until I proved to him that window cloth was absolutely amazing. No chemicals involved. And I don't know how many times you guys have sprayed window cleaner and you've cleaned it and you think it's clean. And especially on a windshield or the inside of a windshield, that's where it's so bad. And this window cloth leaves nothing behind. It is amazing. Norwex products, if you can find a Norwex dealer, I got hooked up with it because my daughter was a dealer. She's no longer doing it, but I have all Norwex and I highly recommend their microfiber. But if you are opposed to spending $40 on a bath towel, that's why I said that about the other bath towels. And if anybody gets those from Amazon, when I give you the links, if you get them and they turn out to be good, I would love to hear from you. All right. Joanne, are you a Norwex distributor by any chance? Or do you just know about them? So you can answer that. Somebody says they're watching from Largo, Florida. That's amazing. So if you're watching inside the Stop Wondering and Start RVing group, if you didn't give permission to StreamYard to show your name, it will only show me as a Facebook user. So I apologize if I don't say your name. Diane says she loves her fluffy towels. I know, Diane. I know. It is hard. It's hard. But if you need to save space, and that's just a great way of doing it. Truman says hello, and someone says happy camper does work. Yes, it does. It's just kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing. And you don't have to carry around the bottle of Dawn, which going into our septic systems in RV parks are meant to be bio, like they're I forget what you call it, an environment that it's supposed to, do its thing and go away, right? And when we add these chemicals into all this stuff, it just causes and it disrupts that actual chemical reaction that it's supposed to be doing for itself and gets in the way of that. And yeah, it's hard. It's sorry, I was reading the next question. Gabrielle says that they don't sell Happy Camper in California anymore. It's California special, Gabrielle. That's all I have to say. They're just special. So come to Tennessee, I'll get you some Happy Camper. Okay. Diane says she does have a small hanger by your sink. Well, you know what? If you've got the storage, that's amazing because that is just so handy. So handy. Oh, she says, but not in the shower. She doesn't have that thing in the shower. Okay. Right. And it's funny when you think about these rigs, what were they thinking when they put the bathroom together? Like, oh, you don't need a towel bar. Oh, you don't need a toilet paper holder. Oh, you don't need a cabinet. You just need a sink and a toilet and a shower with nothing to hold soap or shampoo or anything. So anyway, it's funny. So this Facebook user, I'm pretty sure this is Toby. I'm pretty sure this is Toby. She's writing in from Maryland. Love the bathroom ideas. I joined a Facebook group for Airstream storage too. It's amazing the stuff people find. It's true. You know what? We're a community that loves to share. I just love that about sharing. And she's realizing that each camper brand has its own set of spatial limitations. 100%. It doesn't matter what you buy. You can buy the best of the best, and number one, I'm going to pay for it, right? But then number two, there's something that's going to be missing, something that they missed, something that they didn't put in, and you're going to need to figure out a solution for it. Great information for someone just starting out. Take what works and leave the rest. That's right, Charmaine. I love that. So, and Rose says, hi, everyone, from Freeville, New York. And we are packing our, what are you packing, Rose? Are you packing your RV? I think that's what you're saying. That's awesome. All right. So this Facebook user says, I don't know what they have that might be camper appropriate, but I love the designs from Yamazaki on Amazon. They're very modern and cool looking. Yeah. Uh-huh. I plan to spruce up my camper. See, and this is fun. This is the kind of stuff that, when you want your home away from home or your home to be, pretty and cute. And so this is great. That's great. I'll have to check those out. Thanks for sharing. Is poo okay for poo poured? Oh, poo-pourri. Okay for the holding tank. Yeah, because it's essential oils. And it's 5 squirts. It's not going to be anything dramatic. It's not like it's even it's not even an eighth of a cup of, I would think it would be like a quarter of a teaspoon that you're spraying onto the surface of the water. And you can also just spray it in the air so that, if you're concerned about that, but yeah, it's made of mostly essential oils and a little bit of, like, I don't know what you would call it, but little bit of mixture that makes the essential oils adhere to the top of the water, because basically it's forming that barrier. So if you do spray it before you go, then you never smell it because that barrier is keeping it from being, from you smelling it. So, oh, Cracker Barrel carries it. Oh, thanks, Ree. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. And there's a bunch of different fragrances. I happen to still really love the citrus. I really do. Wow, this is a hot topic tonight, guys. We're going for 30 minutes. Oh, you know what? I need to get in the Facebook group. I can't talk anymore. All right. So hold on. Joanne says she loves the Enviro cloths. You guys can read the rest of these. They're going to be on Facebook, so that you can get these ideas. But this was great. And I'm going to take these suggestions. And oh, Sarah says added an extension bar for air drying things. Yes, that's great. That's great. Toby says she needs to learn to sign up. All right. Yes. All right. I'm going to jump over, guys. Thank you for joining me this week. I loved doing this topic with you, and I hope to see you next week on the RV Living Show. You guys have a great week and be blessed. Have a great night. Thank you for joining me for the RV Living Show. I hope this episode helps you in creating an RV life that you love. Until next time, I encourage you to stop wondering and start wandering.